Well, looky here what we got in the mail. Y'all know what this is all about. Y'all stay tuned. So we got our needle in the mail. It looks right. Everything looks right like it's supposed to be. Hopefully it'll last. Like I say, I'm not going to throw this one away. We're going to get her welded eventually. I'll put it on the shelf just in case I may need it. So where we left off in the last video on this baler is we got to get our shoes, our brake pads that we put on here tightened up. We got to get this needle on. We got to make sure it's adjusted right, make sure everything's in timing, and then this will be ready to go for another day of baling. So right now I'm gonna get everything set up, and I'll meet y'all down here where I'm trying to get this put back on. All right, well, we need to cut some of this twine off of here, all up in my way, all in due time. But you know, this is where the needle goes. I was telling y'all about the bolts before. The actual bolts don't look bad. I just put them on a wire wheel, cleaned them up. I think they'll be just fine. It ain't lost no meat or nothing. They was just surface rust mainly. So let's see if we can get this to work back in there. Get it situated. Alright, we got it on. It's tight, but it's not too tight, because I probably will have to make adjustments, and we'll come up top and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So when the needle comes through, it's got to come through right here, and it needs to be about 1/8 of an inch away from this, and almost, if not kissing the side of this knotter system. So I've got to get all this situated. I'm going to tighten up on my brakes and get this back in the home position, and I'm gonna put y'all down right here and maybe y'all can see something, maybe, but so I'm gonna tighten up these 7/16 a little bit so I can get a little friction on these pads where I can make this needle assembly stay in the home position, and then we can make adjustments from there, because it's got to be in a certain position for it to work right. So get these tightened down. This one's gonna be fun. Well, as you can see, I'm somewhat cramped in here, but we're gonna try to do it without having to pull it out from under the barn. So needle's on, it's not completely tightened up yet. So what I want to do is trip the knotter system. It's all somewhat in time. You can see the plunger up there, and I want to see them come up, and when they get all the way up, I want to stop it and see where it's at, and then tighten it up at that point. And then from there, restring it, should be good to go. So I'm gonna try to set y'all up back here, and I'm gonna try to roll this. Maybe y'all can see it. I'm not gonna promise anything. So I'm gonna trip the knotters, just like that. I'm gonna go up here and turn the flywheel, and we're gonna see what happens. Turn the plywood. Knotters are coming, or knotters are tripped. The needles are starting to come up. That should be where they're supposed to be at. One of them was rubbing. That one's good. That one needs to be adjusted to go up and over this way just a hair. So now we get to go back down below. See, we'll show you what I'm talking about. See how this one has got a little bit of deflection, and it is just over twine disc right here by 1/8, maybe a little more than 1/8, but not much. This one is rubbing against it and rubbing against that. There's no, so we have got to get this one adjusted by going back down below to them bolts and adjust it on them. So like I say, it's got to come up this way and it's got to go over this way. So let's go adjust on them bolts and see if that helps any. Now that the needles are already up in the bale chamber, it's going to be harder to adjust on them, but I'm going to try to adjust on this one and see what happens. I may have to bring it all the way back out to here, adjust it and fine tune it, but I'm going to look and see if I can do it from in here, but it's not looking promising. So it's tight quarters, you ain't going to be able to see much, so I'll be back with you in just a little bit. Alright, I know the glare is hard on y'all, but we got it adjusted where we need it. And we're going to roll it back around, make sure this lock goes in, and be pretty close to being done. So see if I can put y'all in here where y'all can see that triangular lock. So I'm going to roll it. Needles are starting to go back down. Plunger's coming around. Needles are almost in their home position. You see that plunger coming. Now that triangular piece, that block, is starting to go away. And it misses it by 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Triangular block's gone away. Bring it back around. 12 o'clock position. Right there. I went ahead while I was doing all this and got our timing marks back in line. As you can see, the 2 scrubs. And yeah. So that's great. The brake seems to be working. The needle arm is back in the home position. Can't come back no farther. So fingers crossed. everything works right, and we'll be ready to cut another field and use this baler again. Hopefully. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Let me get this mess picked up, and I'll be back with y'all in just a little bit.
3 days later.
Alright, well, it's time. We're going to rake this field. Try to get a little baling done. We're going to use the Ford 3000 with a modified hay rake. Let's get started. New Holland baler, 273, part 2. She's putting some bales out. I've done made a couple of passes. Doing pretty good. I figure I'll take y'all along for the ride, let y'all see what all we got going on. Ford 3000 pulling the baler. Some bales down there. And they're pretty tight. I have loosened up just a hair. I know this string ain't the best, so I don't want to break string after we get good bales. You know how that is. Knotter's doing good. And new needle's doing good. So let's rock on with it. We have to keep a check on this PTO. He wants to slide off. I've got to get a bigger diameter bolt. Alright. First gear, low range. PTO on. Let's bale. Pick some hay up. Hey, buddy. right there is about 65 bales loaded. We still got a lot more to go that's out in the field. So this is the first load. And then I've got a couple of areas like that one right over there. About 3, I think I had a total of about 5 mist ties and 1 shear bolt. So I think that's pretty good for an old baler that been setting up for so long. Got a new needle on it, got everything back in time, and it, I would venture to say it probably put out, if I was to guesstimate, my bale counter don't work, and what's laying in the field and what's on the trailer, I would say at least 100 to 110 bales it spit out today. I'm gonna come back out. I've got a couple of windrows right here and a couple of mist ties down there at the end that I'm gonna have to get. I'll probably either get that this afternoon or sometime tomorrow and finish dressing out this side of the field. Sure looks good when it's clean cut like this. I still got that side to do. I'm hoping I can get it done before the first frost. So now we gotta get this mess unloaded under the barn and ready to pick up more. But we're gonna call it quits right here on this video, and I sure appreciate y'all. The weather has been super nice and cool in the mornings. We had low humidity, so I was able to get started pretty early this morning. There wasn't no dew on the ground or nothing like that, so that's awesome. So anyway, like I said, we're gonna wrap this up. I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch y'all in the next video.